right? But everybody else who's running seems to be coalesced around this idea that in order for them, whoever them will be, to come in and do the next that you're talking about, the first thing that needs to happen is that he must go. Is that enough of an action in this period? Is that enough of a campaign strategy? Is that enough of an idea for everybody to say, you know what, first of all, let's get equilibrium in the room first before we tell you what we're going to do. Let's get the kid in the room who is tossing everything about out of the room. Is that enough, or must there really be more?
I mean, it's let me say that it's enough. It's a good strategy. It's only that it's a good strategy for 2 term, not 1 term. It's a strategy that only works for President William Ruto. If they keep this conversation around, the bottom line is President William Ruto must go, and that's what they bandy around in their public rallies. That's what they say everywhere they go. They go to churches, funerals, barazas. That's what they say. That gives President William Ruto a very easy sail for a 2nd term. And why am I saying that? Because it has reached a point where Kenyans are not interested in who goes and who does not go. Kenyans are looking for someone who will offer a tangible solutions. We've been told time above numbers that we are losing billions. I think now it's 1 trillion through corruption. So Kenyans are not going to listen to someone who is talking about President William Ruto must go unless this person has a coherent message on how we're going to fight corruption. Kenyans are not going to listen to, 1 term Ruto must go unless you talk to us about the creation of jobs for the many young people who since 2023 have been going to the streets. I think before the election, they were going to the streets saying Atupangwingwi. And they defied President Uhuru Kenyatta, who warned us against this regime and voted for this regime. And then immediately after this regime, they realized that it was good while they were waiting. Things are not, they went to the streets. So this is a group of people that I don't think they will be easily told Ruto must go, and then they come out and vote out President William Ruto. I think that's the first thing that I see, that, this 1 term thing, Ruto must go work for President William Ruto, because it keeps all these guys busy without giving Kenyans something that is tangible. Then the second thing I see is, this illusion that the opposition has that they have numbers is just 1 step. It's like the starting point. It's not the finishing line. And if they were prudent enough and helping Kenyans understand that this is a regime that needs to go home, they ought to be telling us, 1, what are the critical indicators that Kenyans need to hang on so that rage is sustained up to the next election? They're not telling us that. I mean, we keep hopping from one thing to another. Right now, everyone in Kenya is talking about the fuel crisis. People have forgotten there's so many things that led the Gen Zs to the streets in 2024 and 2025. So if you look at the strategy that they have, you realize that they have a strategy that is taking them nowhere, but it is a strategy that is reminding President William Ruto what to do. In 2024, what did President William Ruto do? He realized that he was on the verge of losing the young generation. Right now, because of the programs that they've initiated, including the Nyota Fund, the almost 1.3 billion that Treasury, released to just take care of the youth economic initiatives all over this country. And right now, we are talking about young people who are beginning to doubt whether it is prudent to send President William Ruto home. They're beginning to say, by the way, this guy is trying. He's gone around the country initiating this Nyota funds. So what am I saying? In simple, the opposition has to wake up. They have to understand that they have to start articulating a coherent vision. They have to start talking about governance and corruption. They have to start talking about how they're going to empower young people. But most importantly, they have to unite. That messaging has to be the same message that is passed across in every other platform by each and every individual opposition candidate. As it is right now, if you listen to all of them, whether it is Matiang'i you're listening, Kalonzo you're listening to, Sifuna you're listening to because he's joined that bandwagon, the sense you get is these are people who are so entitled and they're thinking that they are the first among unequals. And I think that plays into an assailable pathway for President William Ruto.
Dismas, should the opposition then, with the different messaging that we have and the calls for unity for them to come together, is it about time that they gave us who it is they're supporting so that they start building their attack pretty much at President William Ruto for 2027? Or is it too early? Because many are saying, why are you guys pushing us? We will tell you when the right time comes. At the moment, we are consolidating and fixing our house so that we can come to Kenyans. As well, have Kenyans bought into the idea of the opposition as it is? Because